Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I will have guests on from the Troup County Parks and Recreation Department. Also, I will have guests on from the Troup County School System. So stay tuned for those interviews coming up in just a moment.
Just what you're looking for. You'll find it in one of the 28 shops in downtown LaGrange. Remember old school customer service? It's still here. Not to mention that perfect gift. That's the beauty of downtown LaGrange. So come on down.
Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm sitting down with the Superintendent of Athletics from the Troup County Parks and Recreation Department. I'm sitting down today with Carrie Whaley. Carrie, welcome to the show.
Good morning, glad to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you, Carrie, and I know, I was talking before we came on the air, and I said, we go through the Thanksgiving holiday, then we enter into Christmas and New Year, and then we hit January, and the time just starts to seem like it speeds up.
It does.
And we're here today to talk about spring sports starting already, right?
Right.
Tell us a little bit, before we get into that, tell us a little bit about your role as the Superintendent of Athletics.
At the Recreation Department, I'm Superintendent of Athletics. I help recruit the coaches for our youth sports teams.
Mm-hmm.
I do the bids and order all the uniforms, equipment, and everything that the athletic side of the department has to buy. So.
Okay, very good. Very good. And I know that there's a number of things that are going on there, and especially with the spring sports coming up. Talk a little bit about, and I know that in order for all these sports to kind of be as successful as they are, I know that parents get involved, coaches get involved, but you also rely on heavy sponsorship. Talk a little bit about sponsorship.
Our sponsors are critical to the rec department. We have 5 different ways you can sponsor. They're broken down in $250 increments. We have a individual sponsor for $250, then we go up to a bronze sponsor for $500, which is 2 teams, silver at 3 teams for $750, and then a gold sponsor for $1,000, which would be 4 teams, and then we have our platinum sponsors, which are $1,500, and we can run it if you want to do say you want to sponsor a girls softball team and a boys baseball team, that would be the $500, or you could break it down to where you could do like a baseball team in the spring and a soccer team or a football team in the fall. So however you want to do it. A lot of our sponsors, we've got good success of getting the sponsors from our volunteer coaches where they work at, if they own their own business, or if who they work for, their employer has a son or a grandson or granddaughter or niece or nephew, or just somebody that's involved in the sports. They sponsor it. It's good advertisement. Their names go on somewhere between 250 and 500 schedules. We put the names on the back of the uniforms, and kids wear their jerseys around town and go out to eat after the ball game, and they see sponsor name on the back of the shirts, and this it's in a lot of people's hands. A lot of people see that sponsor name, so it's very good advertisement. Plus, you're helping a lot of kids, within the Troup County area.
Absolutely, you're right. I mean, word of mouth is a great advertisement for various local businesses, but then when you see them, like I said, getting involved with the development of a youth, that's so important.
Right. It buys uniforms to go on thousands of kids a year, equipment that we purchase to ensure the safety of the kid while they're playing. Bats, balls, batting helmets, catcher's equipment, football helmets, shoulder pads, basketballs. It's unlimited what the resources we get through sponsorship helps for us maintaining program.
Very good, very good. Now, talking about the sponsorship, and we talked about the kids, and I know that you guys have, like I said, you have the spring soccer that's coming up.
Right.
Talk a little bit about how students can get registered for that, Carrie.
January the 25th through February the 5th, we'll hold our spring registration. You can come in, you can register for youth baseball, youth soccer, girls softball, track program, first tee, tennis. We have, lots of different things going on for our spring. Spring's our busiest
Right,
season
sounds
of the
like
year.
it. All right. And I know that there's an age requirement for these, and there's forms that the students have to complete.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that and how they can get access to them.
For baseball, our baseball starts at 4 years old, same as our youth soccer. For baseball, you have to be on or before May the 1st of this year to be eligible to play.
Okay.
And you can call the rec department at 706-883-1670, or we have all our forms online, and you can go to www.trooprec.org and download our forms.
Okay, trooprec.org. Okay, all right, very good. Yeah, and you know, there is a registration fee, I understand, for the students when they get ready to sign up, but it seems like it's a pretty good deal from what I was looking at.
It's very reasonable. A lot of we charge $60 for our spring registration. That's equipment, uniform, everything's covered. You won't have to pay anything else after that. So it's very reasonable compared to a lot of other rec departments where their participants have to come in and pay a registration fee and then have to buy their uniform or buy their equipment, and you know, it comes into a lot of money by the time you're trying to uniform and equip a kid. So, but the $60 registration fee that we charge, that's all you have to pay. That's it.
Okay, well, very good. Kerry, if you don't mind, as we close out, give them your contact number one more time. You gave them the website if anybody had further questions about registrations.
The Troup County Parks and Recreation, the phone number is 706-883-1670.
Okay, well, very good. Spring registration is already upon us. Students, parents, come on out, give Kerry a call, or either go on the website.
Go on the website.
For very great calls in investing in our youth of the community. So, Kerry, I want to thank you very much for being on the show today, okay?
I enjoyed it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we continue our segment on the Troup County Parks and Recreation, I now have joining me two gentlemen. Both I don't think really need an introduction, but we'll do so anyway. I have, first of all, Daryl Hosey, who is the Recreation Program Athletics Specialist, and Mitch Hill. I'm just going to say Mitch Hill, jack of all and mentor in our community, but Mitch is the Griggs Center Supervisor. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you know, it's always good for us to be involved in the development of a child and helping him or her in athletics and academics, and I'm finding out as well. But you gentlemen are here to talk about some specific programs that are coming up that students can get more involved. Daryl, tell us a little bit about your role, first of all, if you don't mind.
I'm in charge of coordinating all the little kids program, the 4 through 8 year olds.
Okay.
That's basketball, flag football, and baseball as well, which we're approaching spring.
That's right.
Hopefully Herb can get here, but yeah, we'll be approaching t-ball,
Okay.
coach pitch, and machine pitch in the spring.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Well, very good. We're going to talk a little bit more about those age groups in a moment. Mitch, if you don't mind, and I know you've been, and I've seen and known you for quite a long time, and seeing you grow and go off to college, come back here to our community, and investing in, and as well as Daryl, and invest in our youth. Tell us a little bit about your role over at the Griggs Center.
Well, my role at the Griggs Center, basically I serve as the assistant manager to Mr. Greg Hall. Part of my responsibilities is to coordinate programs throughout the Griggs Center. Also coordinate programs that sort of connect with our main office through basketball, softball, those type of programs.
Okay.
Along with the coordinating the center duties. Also, we do, like right now, during this season, we've got boys basketball, 8 through 13.
Okay.
Basically running 5 nights a week. Is it 5? Yeah, right at 5 nights a week at our center. I also coordinate the men's industrial league basketball program, which that's going on pretty much 4 nights a week.
So there's always something going on.
Yeah,
at the
there's
Griggs
something
Center.
going on. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it's been a pleasure to be involved in our community there at the Griggs Center, because I knew where my safe haven was when I was growing up. So coming back to where I grew up at has sort of like, I guess, is everybody's goal in life to be part of that process. And you know, I'm seeing kids that are growing up now that I went to school with their parents.
That's right.
And that's a plus, and then it makes it a lot easier. So if we are having discipline problems at the rec center, you know, now I can call your mom.
That's and you know,
I can call your mom.
That's right.
You know,
absolutely.
so that's been a great reward. And then it's also been somewhere where my kids can come and grow up and be part of the rec department programs. My son now was playing middle school basketball at Gardner Newman Middle School, but he's come up through Daryl's 4 through 8-year-old programs. He's come through my 8 through 12 basketball. So that's been big.
Very good. Speaking about Daryl's program, let me just say, I know, Daryl, you have some of the girls, I think the girls youth coming up, T-ball, coach pitch, machine pitch, all of those.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that, and then we'll jump back over to Mitch and as we get ready to close out, because you have some girls activities coming up too. Daryl, tell us a bit about those and how they can get involved.
Okay. Well, T-ball program, we start all of our programs at 4 years of age, and that's the cute age.
The cute
age, yes,
right.
yeah, absolutely. And we asked the age control date. A lot of parents don't understand the age control date. The age control date is the age as of May the 1st.
Okay.
So whatever age they are, May the 1st,
Okay.
then that's the age cutoff date, and they have to be that age, you know, by then for that particular program.
Okay.
So my 4 and 5-year-olds are T-ball. And that's where everybody starts at. A 6 and 7 is machine pitch, coach pitch, excuse me, and my 8-year-olds are machine pitch. Well, with my 8-year-olds, we do, last couple of years, we've been involved in an end of season tournament, something that's been new to us. So what we do now, we kind of split the machine pitch. We do half machine pitch and we do the other half coach pitch, because that tournament is a coach pitch tournament. So this will, you know, enable them to have a little bit more feel, you know, for the tournament. So they have a great time. Parents like it, and you know, we're just excited about getting ready for the spring. We always like to see that warm weather around here.
Warmer weather, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Mitch, if you don't mind, and we're closing out here, tell us, you have your girls softball is coming up, I think, as well.
Right. Girls softball registration starts January 25th through February 5th. And our age control date is a little bit different than Daryl's programs. Our age control date actually is December 31st of 2015.
Okay.
So you cannot turn, if you're in the 8, 9, and 10 division, you can't turn 11 before December 31st.
Okay.
So that type of deal.
Well, very good. And I know there's some other things that are going on, and I definitely want to get you both guys back on to talk about them, especially as we were talking before we came on. There's a tutoring program that's taking place over at the Gregg Center as well.
There is a tutoring program, and excuse me, I can't remember the guys' initials to the program.
Okay.
But that program goes on from about 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock every afternoon. And probably my biggest piece to that is that the parent literally has to walk the kid in, sign the kid in to the program. So there can be some conversation between the parent and the tutor about, you know, what's happened today. Is there some major role or major incident that happened at school? Is there something that we really need to focus on? So, you know, it's more than I just dropped my kid in tutoring type program.
That's right.
And I really like that. And those guys work hard. They really do. Mr. Travis Carter is one of the leaders of that program. So I've been very impressed. And the program's free.
Oh, that's always a plus.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
That's right.
So, you know, those volunteers and all the volunteers in our programs, athletically, community-based leisure, you know, we appreciate and thank all those people, because, you know, we always call ourselves coordinators, but without those guys,
That's right.
we sort of fall apart because we can't do it all.
That's right.
I mean, right now, like in youth basketball, there's 28 teams. There's no way I can coach 28 teams in 8 through 13-year-old basketball. So you need volunteers.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
you know, we appreciate all the volunteers. We appreciate all the sponsors. You know, we thank all the community support people
Right.
that come in. That's a big part of Parks and Rec, and being as a community, we've all got to be there together.
Absolutely.
We've all got to take our role.
Absolutely.
Um,
And you know, and I would love, I mean, that's why I say I got to get you guys back on, because there's so much
Right.
that we need to talk about and make sure that the viewing audience hear about it. So I definitely want to invite both of you gentlemen back on, as our
Absolutely.
time has expired on this, to talk about those things that are happening, because sometimes I think when we have programs like what you're talking about, we're the best kept secret. People might not necessarily know about it.
Right.
So we got to get the word out there so that everybody can hear about it, so they can take advantage of
Absolutely.
it. So gentlemen, I want to invite both of you all back on the show
Sure.
real soon, okay?
Sure.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. As we continue talking about getting students registered for various activities coming up, here's something else that you don't want to miss. Today I have on from the Troup County School System, I have the Coordinator of Office and Student Assignment, Ms. Shanitra Ransom. Shanitra, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me, Alton.
Well, I was just talking with Daryl, Mitch, and Carrie about registration for spring activities for the Troup County Parks and Recreation. And lo and behold, it's now time for the registered kids
Yeah.
for school again, right?
Lots of good things going on in our community for young people.
Yes, it is. And this is one of the great things that they all can get involved in. And we hope that the parents would definitely take heed to the information that you're about to give out.
Okay.
But Shanitra, tell us a little bit about your role, if you don't mind.
Okay, I am the coordinator for the Office of Student Assignment for Troup County Schools. The Office of Student Assignment is the department that's tasked with registering new students and transferring students who've moved from one attendance zone to another attendance zone. And one of the big duties that we have is to register our 4 and 5-year-olds for pre-K and kindergarten registration.
Oh my goodness, 4 and 5-year-olds.
4 and 5-year-olds.
And that's such a precious age. You know, you
is.
just
We
want to
love
keep them that age forever, right?
Exactly.
Well, let's just jump right on in and talking about getting our students registered.
Okay.
What's actually, first of all, what are the dates that the parents need to be aware of?
Dates are quickly approaching. Registration for pre-K and kindergarten will be held the first week in February, February 1st through the 5th.
Okay, and that's just right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Absolutely. You know, we were talking a moment ago, the registration for the recreation is Jan 25th through February 5th as well. I'm like, man, you know what? We're almost done with the month of January
It's
already.
almost over.
Absolutely. Now, I know that there may be multiple sites or ways that students can register kids. Where can they go to have the kids registered?
Yeah, we like to offer multiple sites for the community so that Troup County residents can have sites to visit. The first site will be, of course, at the Administrative Service Center, which is the main office for Troup County Schools. It's located at 100 North Davis Road, and that's where my office is housed. We'll be glad to see parents at that office, but you also have, for convenience, can visit our north and south end of the county with Hogansville Elementary School, which will host their pre-K registration and kindergarten registration at their site, and also at West Point Elementary School. So we have 3 sites for parent convenience.
Okay, well, very good. Now, I know that a couple years ago there was registration forms for pre-K included no shots, no school. Is that still true?
It is a board policy. It's in effect for all students. They must present their immunization records to the Board of Education before beginning school. For registration, we do ask that if you are registering a child for kindergarten, that you provide us with their most recent immunization record. However, some children who will register for pre-K might not be old enough to have a complete record, so those parents can present their registration immunization at a later date.
Okay, all right. So if you don't have it, can get it at a later date
For pre-K.
For pre-K
For
only.
pre-K
Okay,
only.
all right. Before
For kindergarten, you need to have that
Gotta
record
have it.
available to pre-register.
Okay, all right. What else do parents need to bring? I know that a lot of times you have to have certain documentation. What are some of the documentation that students?
For both pre-K students and kindergarten, we require a birth certificate and the child's social security card. We're requesting that document. We need the parents' picture ID and their proof of residence. And we just recently talked about the immunization. And there's also a form called the Vision, Hearing, Dental, and Nutrition form, and that form can be obtained from the child's pediatrician or by visiting the Troup County Health Department.
Oh, okay, all right. Good. Now I know that sometimes people want to bring addresses as proof of verification. Is that an acceptable document?
We've seen lots of different forms of proof of residence, but there are certain things that we are looking for. Something that ties the parent to the residence, of course, a mortgage statement or a lease agreement, a rent receipt,
Okay.
home telephone bill. I know a lot of people don't have landlines
I
anymore.
know.
There are very few people that still have those. But if you have something that ties you to the residence, the tax bill, property tax statement, that's acceptable. In cases of double occupancy, if one parent is living with another family, then the family that has the residence can come with them to sign the affidavit of residency, and we'll be happy to notarize that at all 3 of our registration locations.
Okay, all right, very good. Now, a few moments ago, you talked about the 4 and 5-year-olds. What are some of the cutoff dates for students?
Well, you must be 4 by September 1st, 2016
Okay.
to register for our pre-K program.
All right.
And to attend our kindergarten classes, you must be 5 by September 1st, 2016.
Okay, all right, very good. What happens if the parent doesn't register before that February the 1st cutoff date?
Between February 1st and February 5th, we're encouraging as many Troup County parents as possible to come out to register. If you happen to register after February 5th for pre-K, you will go on a waiting list in your assigned zone. So
Okay.
you'll be on a waiting list to be enrolled once seats become available in pre-K. But for kindergarten, we'll have to look at where we have available seats to place you if you register after the February 5th date.
Oh, okay, all right. Now, you mentioned zones a moment ago.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that, Shanita?
Well, that's another board policy that we make assignments to schools based on your address. And
Okay.
each address in Troup County falls into an elementary school zone and a middle and high school zone. So
Okay.
your address determines where you will attend school.
Okay.
That's something that's preset and determined already by the Board of Education.
Okay, very good. Now, if parents and like myself sometimes may have additional questions that they want to ask of you or others that are registering, what can they do to get additional information?
We'd be more than happy to answer any questions that parents may have regarding our pre-K and kindergarten registration. They may contact us at the Administrative Service Center by calling 706-812-7900, or they can visit our website. It's www.troup.org.
Okay. Now, in our opening, I think you talked about students that were, in the system and some that were first time coming in.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Well, and that's an important note, thank you, Alton, because students who are currently in our Troup County Schools pre-K program, if they have not moved, hadn't changed addresses, those little ones and their families are still at the same address, they will just what we call roll up to kindergarten. There's no need to re-register for kindergarten if you're
Okay.
already attending a Troup County Schools pre-K program with the same address.
Okay.
Students who are in a private pre-K center or a pre-K program outside of Troup County Schools, they of course will be required to register for kindergarten. Anytime you move from one address to another, it's always good to check with us to make sure that you are still in the same attendance zone,
Okay.
or if it requires a school transfer. So that's something that the Office of Student Assignment works daily to help parents to determine.
Okay, well, very good. And it's so important that we make sure that we get our young people enrolled. Let me ask you a question, and you may not be able to. Do you see the enrollment going up as far as our younger kids are concerned?
Well, every year we see a slight increase with students. It just
Okay.
depends on the birth year, depends on how many babies are born, during that
Right.
group, that cohort year. So
Okay.
we're looking forward to see the influx of students this year.
Okay, well, very good. Again, we're sitting down with Shanitra Rantham, the coordinator of Office and Student Assignment. Shanitra, I know you just gave it out, but just in case someone missed it,
Sure.
if you don't mind telling them that contact information one more time.
I'd be more than happy to. Again, you can reach the Office of Student Assignment at 706-812-7900. That's the Board of Education contact number. Or you may visit us on the web at www.troop.org.
Okay, well, very good. I know just like with the Troup County Parks and Recreation, the parents are going to get these students out, get them registered, make sure that they get off to a good start. And I know that the school system and all the many wonderful teachers and administrators are waiting for them and just going to make sure that our babies get all that they need.
It's my favorite time of the year. We're looking
Absolutely.
forward to seeing our parents and students.
Absolutely. Well, Shanitra, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been from the Troup County Parks and Recreation, Carrie Whaley, Darrell Hosey, and Mitch Hill, as they talked about the spring registration that will be taking place January the 25th through February the 5th. So go on out, register your young folks, and get ready for some fun activities in the spring. Also, I had on from the Troup County School System, the coordinator and Office of Student Assignment, Shanitra Rantham, as she also talked about the registration that will be taking place February the 1st through February the 5th, 2016. She also gave the location that you can go and take your young folks to register. So by all means, take heed to that information and get your young people registered for school. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed these interviews, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.